When you've been baptized, and by that I really mean fully immersed as the original Greek would indicate, in the unholy trinity of pee, poop, and vomit, then and only then can you claim to be certified as dad. Welcome to this very first episode of Dad Diaries. As you can see, I'm a dad, and this is my little baby, Athanasius, or as we like to call him, AC. Anyway, this is going to be a monthly installment where I just share a little bit about how he's going, how he's growing up, and the challenges that I'm facing as a father and how I navigate those. Hopefully you can get something out of it too. So today, for this first episode, I want to talk about the roller coaster that you go through as a first-time dad, especially within that very first month. And I want to do this because you don't really hear about men going through an emotional, mental, physical roller coaster right after birth. And that really makes sense because it happens to mums like 100 times more intensely than it happens to us. But I do think that somebody needs to tell future dads out there what they're in for. So what I want to do is give you 4 tips to prepare you for your first month as a dad. Number 1, as soon as you get home from that hospital, be prepared for everything to change. And by that, I literally mean everything. Your entire schedule is going to change. You're going to go from having a schedule to not having a schedule anymore. This is something that I just had to become okay with. I found that I needed to look at what a productive day looks like or what a successful day looks like in completely new terms. So in that first month, if all that happened was I got an extra hour or 2 of sleep, I was able to make sure that he was sleeping along with my wife, was eating and he was pooping, and that we weren't freaking out when something just slightly differently happened, then we could put that down as a successful and productive day. And I give you permission to do the same. Number 2, enlist help. As in, hey everybody, come and meet our really cute baby. And change him. And put him to sleep. If you're a proud individual and want to take the bull by the horns when it comes to parenthood, and do this whole fatherhood thing on your own, I do not understand you. You are crazy. I highly recommend that you invite whatever responsible adult, family member, friends who live even like within a 10-hour radius of you to come and help you as much as they are willing to. This might be the only way that you get a decent meal or some sleep or have any connection with what's going on in the outside world whatsoever. So when you invite these people over, they'll come over and they'll tell you who your baby looks like. And at the beginning, when this guy was just a little fella, and even littler fella than he is right now, everyone thought he looked like my wife. Now, because he's all chubby, they think he looks like me. So I don't know what they're trying to say. Okay, number 3. Don't think things will go according to plan. Just roll with the punches. As men, we generally like instructions and plans according to which things go, like systematically. Generally, this is just how we navigate life. But when you have a baby, you can forget about plans. And doctors and midwives, as great as they are, can lure you into thinking in a black and white paradigm in terms of what's good or bad or right or wrong with those first few days back at home. Now, I believe that our hospital made a little bit of a mistake in releasing us before this little dude had learned how to feed properly. So a couple of days after we got back home, we actually had to take him to hospital at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Then he wet his nappy. See, the problem was he hadn't been wetting his nappy for like the past 12 hours before that. So we brought him home again. But then he still wasn't feeding properly and he wasn't wetting his nappies again, so we had to call an ambulance and take him back to hospital. Then him and his mum went to hospital for about 3 or 4 days where they saw a lactation consultant, and finally things started to go a bit smoother. Yeah, and as you can see, he's pretty well fed now. Look at those rolls. So again, just be prepared to roll with the punches and be flexible. Number 3, look for responsibility. Be a sucker for punishment. This might seem almost too obvious, but trust me, it's not. That's because as a dad to a newborn, what I realized was that my primary role was actually as the supportive parent, like as the secondary parent. As dads at first, we're a little bit more of the hands-off parents, if only because mums need to be a whole bunch more hands-on, especially with feeding and with providing that primary comfort to the baby that they really crave and need from their mother. But I realized that this provided me with a lot of situations where I could walk away. I could continue scrolling through YouTube or social media, or I could go back to sleep or pretend that I was asleep instead of engaging in the situation and providing emotional support to my wife and maybe physical support to this guy as well, just holding him, just being there when my wife needed a break. I realized that I needed to be particularly discerning of when to offer a helping hand or when to just be there, to just be present as emotional support. It's important for you to support your wife or your partner as much as you can, even if she doesn't ask. Sometimes, especially if she doesn't ask. This is an area where you need to develop thick skin as a man, because sleep deprivation and hormonal fluctuations can be a recipe for disaster, and we've got to be the rock. We've got to be the stability in that situation. So good luck! Number 4, shower your baby with love and affirmation. Even during that first month, when babies seem oblivious to your tone of voice, your facial expressions, to the words that you're saying to them, know that they absorb all of that on an important level. And there's something really powerful that comes from affirmation of the father that resonates throughout the life of his child. I make sure to tell AC that he's smart, that he's strong, that he's intelligent, and that I love him. Because I've lost count of how many stories of friends or family members who have told me that they can't remember the last time their dad told them that they loved them, or that they can't even think of a time that their dad told them that he loved them. People often refer to this as a catalyst for many of their mental health problems in the future. We need to change that. We need to tell our babies, our children, even our adult children, that we love them. So guys, that's it. Those are my 4 tips for navigating the first month of fatherhood. I hope you enjoyed them. Did you enjoy them, baby? Maybe not. I think that's a more comfortable position. So anyway, give this channel a subscribe. We will be putting out a new video every week. Follow us on social media. Any last words? See you later.